Hey y'all, what's up? I don't know if y'all can catch Jade in the background, but she might go into the water. So if she goes into the water, I'll let y'all catch that. But y'all see the prophetic word titled, It's Payment Time. It's payment time. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been waiting on this time for a very long time. So in the middle of the night last night, God said Beth Gamel. Beth Gamel is a place where the Moabites, well, it was one of the cities where the Moabites were conquered because the Lord had a charge against them. Essentially, that's what you could call it. But if we look at the definition of what Beth Gamel is in Hebrew, Beth Gamel is a place of recompense. And what do we know about recompense? Recompense deals in getting payment for what you did right, and also payment for what you did wrong. So there's two sides to this word. It's payment time. It could be where you're receiving the seeds of the negativity and of the wickedness you've sown, or of the righteousness, of the faithfulness that you've sown, okay? But I want to stay on the positive side of this, because I know I'm receiving a good payment, and I know that y'all are too. So, y'all, she running to the other side. Yep. I hope y'all can see her. Jay! Come here, mommy! Come here! Come here, girl! She just staring at me. I hope y'all was able to see that. But, yes. So, we're going to stay talking about the good side of this. So, God is a God of promises. And there are often times where he will remind me. Oh, y'all see her in the water? Go swim, mommy! There are times when he will remind me of his promises. So when Beth Gamel, I'm like, God, you said this city to me before. I said, I feel like it got good significance. So I went through my little notes, and back on 4/13/2022, that's when God had me release the word about he's doing it for you today. Like the Egyptians you see, you'll no longer see them anymore. That may sound familiar to some of y'all, but God is doing it for you today. Well, back then, I said, God, you haven't released this word, but today, where it's at, you know? And that's a whole side note. But when God led me back to that, he was bringing me back to the understanding that he was going to do it. That it's going to be something where your latter is going to be so much greater than your former, where he's going to allow the rains to come down. The other day, God led me to a scripture. I wish I knew off the top of my head. Hey, y'all. So I just wanted to add in this snippet real quick. So the scripture that I was referencing was 2 Samuel 11:1. And God was speaking about a return. This is like the second, no, God only spoke to me 2 times this week about a return or an answer. And remember, repayment or a payment, right? That is a return. That is a return of what it is that's owed to you. And if you go specifically to that scripture, it says in the springtime. And that's what the Lord wanted me to take from that, is that in this springtime, you are receiving your payment. I prophetically declare over this word, I prophetically decree that this word will take place in our lives according to God's will. Before this month is over, you will begin to see that repayment from what it was that the enemy has stolen from you. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the first video, but God said payment twice, payment times 5. Okay, I know we hear times 7 if we catch the thief, but God said times 5. You're going to be flooded with his goodness with this payment. All right, I'm going for real now. I was talking about in the springtime. I think it was something with Samuel and David. But it said in the springtime, and God said, yes, it's still springtime. I'm going to do it. So it's payment time right now. One, he reminded me of the word that he spoke earlier this year as well in April, where he was speaking about recompense and restoration. And we were talking about Joel. It was when I was in Joel, Zechariah, and Zephaniah. So in those particular scriptures, there was this recurrent theme of God restoring to his people what it is that Satan has stolen from them, okay? and giving them a joy, an everlasting joy, and restoring the years of the harvest, right? That's Joel 2. That's what you can find that between Joel 2:21 and 2:28, where he's pouring out his spirit and he's restoring the year of the harvest, right? That the locusts have eaten. And God's like, I'm still standing on my promise, and I know there's a lot of us that have been waiting. Side note, he also reminded me of a word that I posted. It has to be like between 4:10 and 4:13 of this year. But I was speaking about the how God's blessings are locating you. God is in your neighborhood or something like that. I think that's what the Lord had me title it. But even with that, God being in your neighborhood, God's saying the time is now, okay? So the obedience I had with releasing it then was the promise when God gave it to me. But God said now is the time for that promise to be fulfilled. So I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time, but I did want to come on and let you know that payment time is here. Whatever that payment looks like for you, you shall know, because God would have communicated it in spirit. So I will talk to you guys soon, because it's this Greyhound that be tearing Jay butt up. I'll talk to y'all later.